What do you think is possible for the United States? What should we be dreaming of?
2026 in the World Cup.
Yeah. It's Rog, and I'm honestly delighted to sit down with a flank-flying, baguette-eating American, 23-year-old fullback, one-man highlight reel. He's a human insta-thirst trap, the first man in our nation's history to play in El Clasico, a gent who's quickly revealed himself to be one of the most idiosyncratic and joyous personalities on our young US men's national team squad. It's a joy to welcome Mr. Sergino Dest.
Hello, Raj. How are you?
Hoe is het?
Goed. Met jou?
Yeah, we're going to do this one entirely in you know what? We'll do it in your native English because your story is amazing. You were raised in Almere, a city 25 miles east of Amsterdam, newest town in the Netherlands. I love this. The land was only pumped clear of water in the late 60s. So very Dutch. You were born to a Surinamese American serviceman father and a Dutch mother. You grew up playing football on the streets, in the parks. Sergino, take us back to the early days of the game where you learned to play. You've said you used to prefer playing on concrete rather than on grass, so the street moves that you lived to make were easier to execute.
Yeah, I did. You know, when I grew up here in Holland, you know, obviously the cities are smaller, you know, you got more parks. And yeah, I used to play a lot of soccer, you know, on the street. I think that helped me a lot. I had all these guys in my neighborhood that wanted to come and play, and we all played together. Since then, I fell in love, you know, I fell in love with the sport, and I liked it a lot. I kept playing, and even sometimes when I was alone and the other guys couldn't, I was still there, you know, to practice.
Is it true that you used to practice moves that you had watched Robinho, Ronaldo, and your favourite Ronaldinho? You just practice them again and again and again in your room till you could unleash the move like a Rabona or a Cruyff turn or two. Well, the other kids were just doing that, but they were doing it on PlayStation.
Yeah, I wasn't doing it in my room, you know, because it was too risky. But, you know, obviously I was doing it outside, you know. I had some friends, and then sometimes we just were practicing new skills, you know. And then you saw another guy that was playing, you know, football on the streets, and he had a skill, like, for example, I had never seen before. Then I'm like, hey, how can you do that? Then he's going to teach you that skill. So, you know, that's what I love to do, man.
I'm curious how you see your own playing style, Sergino, especially through, like, the lens of national identity. The Dutch, they tend to be more regimented, disciplined, collective, each piece in service of the whole. Whereas when I watch you on the field, you're such an incredible free spirit. You're like American individualism, tricks, flicks, highlights. How do you think about your own identity and style of play when you describe it?
Wow, I mean, that's difficult to say, man. I just try to use all my baggage, you know, that I have. So, you know, I don't think I have a particular style. You know, I'm just like a technical fullback, so it's difficult for me to say, but I try to create my own style, maybe a little.
Yeah, if it had a name, what would you call that style?
If it had a name, what would I call it?
Yeah, your own style. You can give your own style a name.
Best style, I don't know.
Oh, that's it. It's like FIFA, the best. FIFA, the Dest. Then at age 12, you were scouted by one of the most fabled youth academies in the world, Ajax in Amsterdam. You made your debut with Ajax as an 18-year-old. This is incredible. 2019 Johan Cruyff Shield, essentially like the Dutch Community Shield between the league and the cup winner from the previous season. So by the end of your very first 90 minutes, you already had your hands on your first silverware. You must have thought this whole football lot was so easy. Do you remember signing your first professional contract, Sergino, and what that felt like? Did you allow yourself like one big purchase, like one big splurge, a car, a watch, whatever, a golden PlayStation when you'd made it?
Yeah, I remember, you know, when I was 11, actually, I came to Ajax, and yeah, I remember I was playing there, you know, through the youth. And then when I was 18, like a lot of players already get contracts, you know, when they were 16, 17. I didn't, you know. So I was just playing on an amateur base, to say it like that. And then I was 18, I finally got my first contract. Then I bought something that I wanted to buy, and it was a Louis Vuitton bag. It was just like a kind of bag that you put in front of your body, and I just used it for, like to carry some things. And nowadays I use it to travel, to put my passport in it.
Yeah.
So it's always in front, and nobody can take it. But that's a bag that I still have. That's a bag that I still have.
You can't be a professional footballer without a Louis Vuitton bum bag. You just can't.
It's difficult nowadays, yeah?
I thought you were going to say something like you got yourself a Michael Jordan replica throwback uniform.
No. I was still pretty calm with it because I was still at the beginning. So I couldn't spend too much, I gotta be smart.
I mean, I'd say slowly, but honestly, that first season when you were still a teenager, you really erupted onto the global scene. 35 appearances, 2 goals, Marco van Basten Award for Ajax Talent of the Year. You won the US Soccer Young Male Athlete of the Year. And I mentioned US Soccer because at the age of 18, freshly, just the legal age to buy cigarettes, you were courted by 2 nations, the country of your birth, the Dutch, and the nation where your father served for the US Army, the nation where you've been called into youth team camps. Then US General Manager Ernie Stewart, a man who looms large in your life now as Director of Football at PSV. I think he was key in convincing you to join the United States. Take us inside this moment, this decision for a gent so young that ultimately was going to very much define your career.
It was obviously a position that I wanted to be in, Obviously, it's nice if both countries want you to play for them. So, when I grew up, I was fully focused on the Netherlands, to be honest. I was trying to play for the Dutch national team. And then, for some reason, I never made it to the final round. So then some people around me told my dad as well, like, hey, he also has an American passport. Why doesn't he try there? And I was never thinking about that because I was like, yo, that's actually really, really dope, so I can go to overseas and play in an American team. And I remember the first day when I arrived, obviously my English wasn't that good yet. So
when you arrived at camp?
Yeah, I arrived at camp. I think it was in Sarasota at IMG Academy. That was my first time.
Yes.
So
for the youth camp?
Yes, for the youth camp. So that was a really nice experience, and then it was like, wow, this is actually nice. People are nice here. It's nice jerseys and nice culture of football as well, and it's different. So I learned a lot, not even.
Were you nervous just arriving? Your English not so good. You're like, who was in that squad?
The first person I met was Taylor Booth at the airport.
You nutmegged him immediately and felt confident.
No, I don't remember that. But yeah, the first person I met was Taylor Booth. And he asked me, "Are you an 00 or 01?" And I was like, "What's that supposed to mean?" And then he was like, "Are you from 2000 or 2001?" I was like, "Oh, 2000." So that's pretty funny, because they talk different. And that's what I said. Like, you learn not only in the sport, but you learn also as a human being in life. That's why I like the US so much. And I kept playing. I went to different camps. And then at the end, it came to the final moment when I was playing in the first team in Ajax. And I just chose between both of them.
I love your rationale. You're like, it was welcoming. They were good guys. The shirts were nice. The jersey design played into the decision, Sergino.
Yeah, it did. So then, in 2019, when I was 18, I got to the final point of having to decide to choose for Holland or the US. And I was already feeling comfortable playing with the US. So, there was obviously a little doubt in my mind because I was like, wow, now Holland wants me. But I felt, I wasn't really sure. So I was like, you know what, some loyalty, I'm already at a place that I feel good about. So why should I change that and take any kind of risk?
And the American boys, they're very tight. I was speaking to Tyler Adams at this time, and he was talking about how, Weston, Christian Pulisic, I know how much they wanted you to play with them, Sergino, and you're on the receiving ends of a lot of texts, right? A lot of WhatsApps of encouragement.
Yeah, definitely. And it felt nice, to be honest. So the coach, Erik ten Hag, he gave me a week off. He was like, yo, this is a really important moment in your life. So it's going to be a like an international break. You going on vacation. You're going to, I don't know, outside the country, and you're going to have a small vacation and think about your choice for your life. And I did that. So I think it was in October. I went to Ibiza, uh, and with my girl at that time, and then I was thinking about everything. And then I finally decided, okay, you know what, it's gonna be US.
On the dance floor, you had a crystal moment of realization. You're like, you will ride with the USA. Can I just say, Erik ten Hag, God bless you. That is incredible man management. We are incredibly grateful as a nation. And your form continued to just excel, earning a $23 million move to Barcelona. This all before your 20th birthday, which is incredible. Still not legally old enough to drink in the United States. You became the first American to play in the league for Barcelona, third American to score in La Liga after Josie Altidore and the great Yunus Musa, and the first American in our nation's long history to play in El Clasico. I was watching when you played for Barcelona. As a kid, you'd grown up imitating Ronaldinho tricks off YouTube. Suddenly you were playing at the Nou Camp, where he'd pulled off so many of those gasp-inducing manipulations of the ball. Did it feel like coming full circle for you?
A little. At the beginning, obviously you have to adapt. You're 19 years old. It's the first time you live alone in another country. You're not with your parents anymore. You're getting an adult. So obviously that needs some time to adapt. I felt like I started off very well when I came to Barcelona. I had some good games. Obviously, the consistency wasn't always there, but that also needed time, because I was still pretty young. And for me, I think it needed some time. But yeah, it was a really, really special moment, to play in the Camp Nou and show off my skills.
Did it feel out of body, Sergino, when you're walking on for El Clasico? Did you feel like, yeah, this is me, I'm doing it? Or you're like, holy crap, I'm doing this is amazing?
Second one. But obviously in the moment, you don't really think about it. You're like, okay, it's a game, it's a special game. But then when you look back at the time, for example, now, then I'm like, wow, this is actually really special what I did. And I didn't enjoy it that much in the moment, because you have to be focused. But that is something I also learned in life. Like, I try to appreciate the moments more, make the best of it.
That is the secret. Yeah. Sergino Dest, of life. And talking about the moment, the 2022 World Cup. Watching you for the United States, such a delirious joy for so many fans. You scored against Costa Rica in qualifying. You're part of that young, vibrant team that had us all believing again, full of youth and vim. By now you were firmly established as first choice fullback. And in that first game against Wales, as you held your hand over your heart when the national anthem rang out in World Cup play, what was going through your mind? What was your favourite memory of that whole World Cup experience, Sergino?
Man, I love the World Cup. I love it. That was the best moment of my life. I enjoyed it from the first minute until the last minute. We were starting against Wales. We tied, so it wasn't the best start. It wasn't the start we were hoping for.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible, but still, we wanted better. Then we started playing against England. It was also a tie. And then people were like, hey, wait, England, it's a tie, and we were actually better. So, hey, maybe this team is promising this World Cup, And even we were thinking about that as well as a team. Then we won the game against Iran that we needed to win, because they were...
Christian Pulisic off his penis.
I don't know about that. Ask him.
I have. Go on. So you beat Iran.
Then we won that game. It was obviously a really difficult game because they only needed a tie, I guess. And then we played against Holland. Obviously
round of 16.
Yeah, we lost that game. I feel like it was just too bad. It was unlucky. The moments that they scored, it was unlucky, and the moments that we should have scored but we didn't. That's too bad. But it happens in football. That's football. But during the tournament, in our free time, because it was one game, then 4 days in between, then another game. That was amazing, man. We stayed in an amazing hotel. I think Kempinski, it's called, in Qatar. It was like an island. And we had freedom. The coach gave us freedom. And that's what I really liked, He allowed us to kind of get the best experience out of this moment, in the World Cup. For example, me, every day, whenever we had free, I was checking out the hotel. I was with the, in the bars with the people and stuff. I don't drink, so I'm professional with that, but I still like to be around it, around the music, around the television that plays the other games, be with family and stuff. And I felt like the coach gave us the opportunity to do that.
Is there one single memory that when you think back to the World Cup, it does fill you with joy?
Not one single, man. All the memories are amazing, man. There isn't one single memory. I was really enjoying it. We had some security guys from Ghana, from other African countries. I was even talking with them every day. I kind of went to the because we had the rooftop. Every day there was like a party. So I even went, just to enjoy the moment. I didn't drink. I didn't do nothing, but I was just enjoying the moment and just realizing this beautiful moment.
I mean, it is the secret of life to appreciate it while you are doing it. But the US went out in the round of 16, as you said, snuffed out prematurely by a Louis van Gaal tactical masterclass. That must have been so surreal for you, Sergino, to have both of the nations where you are so deeply connected to playing each other. You said before the game, I know almost every single guy on the Dutch team. What was that experience like? The two sides of your personality playing against each other, Sergino, and the Dutch, Louis van Gaal, just out-tacticing in the Americans.
It was a beautiful moment. I remember Memphis Depay. When we got through and we won against Iran, he sent me a text. Just with his eyes. So, we're going to play against each other. So I sent them the same thing back. And then, obviously, I saw them, before the game, Frankie, everybody who I already knew. And we played that game. And then it was just too bad that we lost, man. Because I felt like if we won that game, we could have a really, really good tournament, man. We grew out of the tournament, Like first game, second game, we got better every game. It's too bad that the World Cup is so hard. You have to win every single game. You can't have no days off. So,
what did Memphis Depay text you after the game?
No, after the game, I didn't want to hear nothing. I was sad. I was really sad. So,
I bet. How long did it take you to get over that? How do you deal with sadness? Do you just get over it like that, or do you wallow in it?
I was just on the pitch, just looking in front of me and just thinking, like, how did we lose? It's really difficult, man, because I like to be there in my free time, but also on the pitch and win it, So obviously it's difficult, because we're all still young, but I was really sad about that moment, and I don't want to experience that moment again, but who knows? It happens, you can predict the future, but it was just a hard moment. And that moment when we get out with the final whistle, I can remember that forever.
Back with club football, and the game, like life, is often not a straight line. Your club experience and Barcelona briefly at Milan didn't pan out like you wanted. Can I ask you, you are a player that likes to play with joy. We know that, Sergino. What do you tell yourself in moments of challenge so that you can retain your confidence and your inner spark?
Obviously, me in my career, I've had some setbacks, I think everybody knows that. Mentally, that's tough. For me, actually, it isn't anymore, man. It isn't. I feel like every time when I get setbacks, it's just something that I need to be humbled again. That's how I feel, and I need to make the best out of it, because I feel if I overcome that makes me stronger, and that makes it a really nice career as well. Get setbacks, go up again, get setbacks, prove them wrong, And for some people, it's easy. They got an easy career, they never have problems or whatever. And for me, that's not my path, So I accepted that, It wasn't like that in the youth as well. So that's just my life, and I feel like, I have a different personality, so I can deal with it.
So many of your teammates, Christian Pulisic, Matt Turner, Brendan Aronson, they've told us on this show that in times of challenge, of grit and gruel with their club teams, the US national team, that group of young friends, has become just a joyous place, a refuge, where they're known and can relax, can take a load off, be, restore amongst great friends and recharge. Has that been the case for you, that in challenging times, the US national team has been a place where you can kind of refocus?
Yeah, from January to June, that I didn't play for 6 months from Milan. Obviously, I'm really thankful for Anthony and BJ, the national team, that they still called me up, because that is what I needed, and that's what I say, like
VJ Callahan.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like, I like the loyalty, because they know I still have quality. They know I can still do it. But this is the time, like, nobody gives me that opportunity to show you that I can do it. So I called them. I told them, hey, I'm training really hard. I'm even maybe more fit than the guys that are playing. And obviously I want to come and I want to play, but mentally I'm strong. So don't worry about me. I will come back, and I will come back in a good way. So then in March, they let me play. In April, I asked to come again against Mexico to play. And then in June, we played again against Mexico. And then you saw as well, I was fit. I played 90 minutes. I made an assist to Pepe. And obviously, everybody thinks you have to play all the games and the whole season for, like, to be fit, for your club to be fit. But there are also other ways to keep yourself fit, Obviously, it's easier with games, but I proved people that even if I didn't play for so long, I can still play the 90 minutes and be important for the team,
So, Sergino, the US was your happy place in this time?
In this time, yes. Obviously, I had some coaches that came. We did personal training, mentally. I was thinking about the process, to kind of improve on the little details that I still had to work on, to make myself a better player. And then at the end, US kept giving me these opportunities. So I'm really thankful for that, and that's why I want to give back.
I've got to ask you, this brotherhood, the sense of the United States connectivity, of being willing to fight and fight back together, occasionally it's been too strident. You most recently received a pair of red cards on US duty, which is so not like you, Sergino. The first against Mexico, then against Trinidad and Tobago, punting that ball away like an NFL special teams player. Afterwards, you took to Instagram to apologise. We're now 2 months on from that moment. What's the biggest thing that you've learned from these challenging experiences?
There are difficult situations, how to handle the situation. That is something you saw I needed to work on, With the Mexico game, I didn't start. It wasn't totally my fault, I guess. But the Trinidad and Tobago game, that these kind of things can't happen anymore, They can't. So there are learning processes. But at the end, it happened. And now we move forward, We don't think about that anymore, I apologize. So that chapter is done, So now we're looking forward. We have Copa America in the summer. We have another camp in March. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's fun. I don't think about it, nothing.
I love you. The old Sergino did that. New Sergino is only going to do great things. And it has been a season of marvel. I've wondered to watch you back in the nation of your birth, after this loan with PSV Eindhoven. You've really refound the spark that gives all of us who watch you so much joy to witness. You said, quote, I needed the warmth that the people at PSV gave me at this moment in my career. Can you talk about how it feels to be home? When that first phone call came in from Ernie Stewart, who first convinced you to join the United States all those years ago and is now director of football at PSV, what did he say to you, Sergino? How did he pitch this new chapter of your life?
He was consistent. He didn't stop. After a couple of times that we said no, he didn't stop. He didn't stop. He kept trying to find ways how to still make it happen, And then after a while, you start thinking like, hey, wait, is this not what I need at this moment in my career for my life? Obviously, if you play bigger clubs, you don't want to go down to a club that is in a less division or something. PSV is still a really great, nice club. But obviously, if you come from AC Milan and Barcelona, you want to stay at that level. But I didn't play for 6 months in Milan, so I didn't really have the choice. I had no other option than just do it and prove everybody wrong and show them again.
When you say wasn't this exactly what I needed, in your words, Sergino, what did you need? What did PSV offer?
I needed a coach that believed in me and wanted to give me minutes. I needed to play. That's the only way how I can show myself and how I can prove people wrong. So that's what I needed. I needed a warm environment, honest people around me. That's what they gave me. Obviously, I knew Ernie already from a couple of years ago. It felt good. And it wasn't the only Ernie. Even the coach started texting me and calling me. Then Marcel Brandt started texting and calling me, and then I was like, hey, wait, they're going to play Champions League. I felt with this team, we're going to be champion. And I felt like, okay, if I'm going on loan to get the things I needed, yeah, why not? Why not?
From the outside, PSV is like the ultimate entertainers club. It's like the N1 mixtape tour of Dutch football. But as someone who grew up in the Netherlands, what does PSV stand for to you? How are they perceived as a club?
It's a really warm club. Everybody can talk with each other. It's a really honest club. We try to tell each other honest in the face what is happening, and some things are nice, some things are not. But, to be honest is the most important, because then for both parties, this is what it is. Everybody, whoever goes to PSV, I don't think you will regret it.
No bull.
No bull. No bull.
And as a result of this approach, your team has soared, your form has soared. 22 starts, PSV, unprecedented heights this season. And we look at so many young American footballers. Christian Pulisic thriving at Milan after being challenged at Chelsea. Weston McKennie soaring at Juventus after struggling at Leeds. Can you describe what it feels like as a footballer, Sergino? The difference it makes to be loved by a team, to have their confidence, that's led you to resummon such joyful form.
That's the most important, man. You have a lot of great players, but if they're not under the right coach or the right environment, they're not going to play great, So, that is something that I think is, even if it's a step down, or even you don't feel really comfortable with it because you think you can play higher, just do it, because the next step will be better than it was before,
Of course, you're not the only American there. PSV has gone above and beyond the buddy system of American players abroad. There's 3 of our gents currently plying their trade there. You, Malik Tillman, and El Tren, Ricardo Pepi, a gent who honestly inspires me with his determination, the amount he's overcome in his own young life, his own young career. Both of you really, Sergino, have faced at times long odds. So many people telling you no. Do you feel a connection with Ricardo at the tenacity and audacity with which he's kind of carved out his career?
I didn't really think about that like this, So obviously we have had different careers, different situations. Yeah, for him, I feel like, he's doing good. He is doing great. He doesn't always get the minutes he deserves, because always when he comes in, he scores or he gives an assist or whatever, So I feel like he deserves a little bit more playing time. I'm proud of him that he keeps his mind focused. This is all he can do, The other things are out of his control. So the way he's handling it right now is good. But I feel like he deserves more minutes.
Malik, such a singular force. His numbers off the bench are remarkable. Your first PSV goal came from a Tillman assist. What's he like off the field when the camera's on him?
Quiet, just chill. I don't know. Just does his thing,
Does the fact that you're doing this with 2 fellow Americans make this PSV experience all the more special?
A little bit, but not too much, to be honest, because I already knew the people also from Holland, So it's not like I didn't know anyone in this team. I knew already some people, so.
Your PSV kicked off the season with a 17-game winning streak, which was almost unbelievable, even as we were watching it. Essentially half the year experiencing just only wins. This idea, I'm an Everton fan, so it's truly foreign to me.
Which fan?
An Everton fan.
Oh, Everton, okay.
I love the way you say that sadly when you find out it was appropriate. It is a terribly sad reality. But watching PSV win game after game, I've taken joy vicariously. What's it like as a player when you're coming off the field, winning every game? Does that create its own pressure?
It was an amazing streak, man. An amazing streak, We felt like we could beat anyone, So we won, and then it felt you feel powerful, man. You feel powerful, with this team. And then obviously you go to the knockout rounds and Champions League, Yeah, you just feel powerful, man. And then after the winter break, we played games, we won, we're out of the cup. I don't know if you have seen that game, but we didn't play that well. They didn't play that well, but some crucial decisions were made, not in a good way. So that was too bad, but yeah, we won the last game again. So now we won 18 times, we drew one. So we're still unbeatable this season in the league. And let's continue that. But yeah, it's amazing feeling, man. It's amazing feeling. But it's really difficult to stay consistent.
It is. I mean, you lost in the Dutch Cup to Feyenoord. 1-0 is what you're referencing. I mean, does it create its own pressure, like that sense of invincibility?
No, because we felt like we could also have won that game. We weren't maybe better or we weren't the best. Like there wasn't one team that was standing out, but on these crucial decisions, you can win a game. And that was out of our control. So that's why we don't feel that bad about it.
Sergino, you clearly are enjoying your football again. After every game, you post, this is incredible, your own personal highlight reel. So first question, big question, who edits them?
Private company, man.
I like the image of you going home and just editing your own highlights.
No, I don't do it myself. Oh. I ask them to do it, but I don't do it.
What are you expressing with them? Like, I'm genuinely, and not many footballers do this. You do. This is your thing. Tell me what it's an expression of.
Yeah, I just tell them, I want the whole season. I want videos after the game of the highlight, of the things, the highlight. So then they make it, and sometimes I'm like, hey, wait, this clip, this action is not in it. So, okay, you change it, this action has to be in it, for example, and I feel like that is also a way to kind of, I don't know, not really promote yourself, but it's just nice to have that on your own pages so people can look at it and be like, oh, wow, these actions, yeah, I remember that.
I love the fact that you provide editing notes on your own highlight reels, which is really beautiful, mind-blowing and amazing. My personal favourite, the Elastico nutmeg against Arsenal in the Champions League, where your own teammates on the bench were just all gasping in utter disbelief at what you'd done. Sergino, when you pull off something like that on the field, I mean, have you practiced and planned to pull it off? Do you decide when you get the ball, I am now going to take essentially the underpants off the person that's defending me? Or does it just happen naturally without you having to think?
No, it happens, yeah.
What goes on in your mind? Give us what goes on in the beautiful Dest mind in that moment.
It also depends how the players are standing, like the body position. So sometimes you just get it in your mind. I'm like, oh, this is open, so should I do it? And then you just do it.
But the answer for you is yes. You don't even ask a question, do you? You don't say, should I do it? You're always going to do it, Sergino.
It's a yes, yeah.
And what does it feel like when you've just done it in the second? Are you chill? Your friends are losing their crap on the bench. Are you just like, must carry on playing, look for the pass, look for the move? Or are you like, holy crap, what have I just done? It worked.
Yeah, obviously in mind you think a little bit like that. Yeah, it's good action, people enjoy. But then you have to focus again, because if the next one is bad, then it doesn't make sense anymore.
You are in your head. You're like, good action.
Yeah, yes.
God, can you describe what it is about your personality, Sergino? Because it seems there's part of you that doesn't just want to beat an opponent. You want to dunk on them. I know you love your NBA throwback gear. You kind of want to dunk on your opponents. What is it about your personality that makes it so?
Because that's how I grew up, man. If you play football on the streets, for example, that's, yeah. You rather get scored on than get a nutmeg, for example, So these if you
Is that true? Sorry, Sergino, is that true? You would rather get scored on than be nutmegged?
In street football, yes. Not in normal football. Okay. So these type of things, that always stays nice, because you make an opponent crazy, and even when he gets mad, it's even more funny. So, I like to enjoy that, because I get to enjoy also the way I play,
Yeah, at the end of the day, are you only entertaining yourself?
Yeah, kind of. It also depends a little bit. I try to.
It's even better when you piss your opponent off. Has any opponent ever gotten legit pissed off after you've kind of pulled off an Elastico or something?
Yeah, but I don't remember. but I have had some situations like that. But I don't remember who it was and stuff.
Oh, you are a diplomat. What's your favourite bit of skill that you've ever busted out on a professional football field?
I don't know, man. I think this Elasticos or the Rabona cross.
Like, is there one in particular? Is there one moment that comes to mind?
No, I've done a lot of Elasticos, man.
Sergino Dest, Elasticos for days. Last question on this. Be honest, how often do you watch your own highlights after the game?
The videos that I post, or like all the highlights?
You tell me. Do you go deeper than the ones you post? Whatever you want to tell me.
Obviously, I watch all the highlights of the whole game, also the things I do bad. But these highlights that I make, for example, with my team, these are nicer to look at because you do the things right. So, yeah.
And what does it make you feel when you look at them, in all sincerity?
Makes me happy.
Which is what life is all about. Last couple, I'm going to let you go because you've been amazing. Sergino, I love this. You were once asked what you'd be if you weren't a footballer. And most footballers say they'd be like a teacher or some kind of a fitness instructor. You told the world you'd like to be an actor like Vin Diesel in The Fast and Furious.
Well, I would love to, man. I would love to.
Which is among the world's finest pieces of cinema. Genuinely, if you were in the Fast and Furious cinematic universe, first of all, why that movie franchise out of all of them?
I like that movie, man. It has everything in it, man. It has action, speed, love, this, that. It's just a really nice movie, man. Obviously, the first couple parts I like the most. They look more realistic to me. But yeah, I like the movie a lot, man. I like the movie.
Vin Diesel, is he the greatest actor of our generation or of all time?
I don't know of all time, man, because you have Jason Statham. Yeah, he's also really good now. I just watched the new movie from him, Beekeeper. Oh, amazing.
Yes.
Amazing, man.
He looks like he could be my son, Jason Statham.
Yeah? Yeah, kind of, yeah, with that hair.
So, greatest actor ever, Statham or Diesel. Which actor would you be in the Fast and Furious cinematic universe?
I will be Vin Diesel.
God, the similarity is actually uncanny. I thought you'd be Han Lu, just ridiculously talented, resourceful, empathetic.
No, I need to drive, man. I need to drift in the corners. Yeah.
By the way, your description of Fast and Furious, that it's got fast cars, action, and love. Essentially, you've just described your own football career, which I adore. I will say, hopefully, before you go chasing a career in Hollywood, you will back on these shores for a very different reason. Because the United States, along with Canada and Mexico, are hosting that 2026 World Cup. When you talk about it with your teammates on the national team, or with Tillman and Pepe, what does a conversation circle back to? Sergino, tell us, last question, what do you think is possible for the United States? What should we be dreaming of?
2026 in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too early to say, man. I'm going to be honest with you. It's too early to say. We first need to see how far we can come in the Copa America. And then, we need to make progress as a team. And then we can talk about what you guys can expect. Okay, we'll talk again. How are we going to do in the Copa? At this moment, I feel like we need to fine-tune some things still, and then we have a better chance. I can tell you, we're going to win the World Cup, but, at this moment, we are not the best, so otherwise I'm going to lie to you. I don't know if you want it. Yeah, I love being lied to. I love inauthenticity. I love dishonesty. Yeah, then we're going to win the World Cup. I love you. By the way, that was one of your best acting jobs of all time, and I hope Hollywood's looking. Sergino, I'm going to say it again. Fast cars, action, love. That is Vin Diesel. That is you. It's been a joy. All I say, Sergino Dest, you're an entertainer of the finest caliber on and off the field. Thank you. No problem. Courage. Okay. See you.